Hi guys, Charlie here from FunkyVapes with another funky review for everyone this afternoon. Today, pardon me, I have a nasty cold. That's why the old schnoz is red. Anyways, we're looking at the Mojo mod today, coming out of Korea. And it's not the Mojo mod, it's made by Mojo. It's the Chiyu mod, made by a man named Mojo from VaporWall. As I said, it's from Korea. This is an all stainless steel version. He just released an all brass version, which is really cool. And the parts are all interchangeable. So I guess we'll just take a quick look at some of the pictures here. Here's a nice shot of the engraving on the back, like that. Here's the front. I'll try to show this as best I can in the video, but it doesn't show up all that well. Here's the top cap and the bottom switch here. Note the brass contacts, really nice. Here we have just some of the mix and match brass parts. Again, I like the look of the brass with the engraving there. Here's just a comparison between some other devices, none of which are common. Odd picture. Here's one of those artsy style pictures, courtesy of the forums. And here's another artsy style picture, courtesy of the forums. And back to Mr. Chart. I'm pretty much going to be doing a comparison to the Caravella, because as you'll see, there's a lot of similarities between this device and a Caravella. That won't be the only facet of my review, but you'll see. Anyways, there are some crucial differences as well. So anyways, you can interchange the brass and stainless steel parts should you have both, not unlike the Caravella. And I know we're all pushing Mojo to release individual parts in different finishes, so you can kind of customize it yourself. First and foremost, the finish. Let's take a look at how it looks. It's about 22mm diameter. It's about the same diameter as the Caravella. The differences are going to be in the locking ring and this ring here, which we'll talk about. They're a little bit wider, so it doesn't have that sleek, streamlined look. The stainless steel, the finish on it is great. I did notice, however, that, again, we'll talk about this, it's not different tubes like the Caravella, it's little additions that you put on. And I noticed that my main tube is a bit shinier than the other ones here. I'm sure I can fix it up with some polish. But just as it comes, just keep in mind it's a bit different. It feels like almost like a brushed finish and then a polished finish. Kind of strange. Yeah, it's definitely... Can't hear anything. That squeaky brush. Yeah. So the finishes are definitely a bit different. Not a huge deal. So moving right along, you have this gorgeous engraving here. You're not going to be able to see it on my awful camera, but it's some sort of engraving. Looks to me like a lion or a dragon coming out, but it also has figures of people in it, kind of thing. I guess it depends how you see it. I should have researched that more. On the back, you have these gorgeous Korean characters, which are so deep in there, it's not even funny. You could probably read them if it was Braille. And then an awesome serial number here. Mine's 44, just happens to be. And then, of course, on the bottom, you have the logo again, that dragony lion mask. And it says version 2012 on the top, then a whole bunch of stars, and then it says Style of Mojo, not Gangnam Style, which is great. Style of Mojo, there you go. So that's the engravings, that's the just the aesthetics of it. Breaking it down into how it works, it's configurable to the 3 standard battery sizes out there. That is the 18650, the 18500, and the 18350. It accommodates them all. So basically the main body tube is the 18350. Pop one in there, and whoop, away you go. Like so. To make it an 18500, you add the smaller of the 2 rings, which I will refer to as the kick ring, and you'll see why. So now you can enjoy it in 18500 mode, and then to make it 18650 mode, all you have to do is add the bigger of the 2 rings, And there it is in 18650 mode. Moving right along, we're going to talk about one of the coolest features, because I hear some rattling. That's not good. And as you know, I don't like rattling in my Caravella either. In the Caravella, this is where we're going to do some comparison work. Caravella has a brass contact, and it's a screw. And as I mentioned in my Caravella video, you screw it up and down, and there's different screws. There's about, I don't know, 5 or 6 different screws. And I'd suggested that Pedro should make some sort of GGTB telescoping kind of contact. Well, look what Mr. Mojo went and did. Also, gorgeous, like flawless brass contacts here. And it telescopes. So you can telescope it in and out, both of these here actually. So this one is adjustable to your atomizer. So we'll put on this dud. So before I do that, I'll show you. You have a very deep drip well in here, a true drip well. You have slotted slots here for your atomizers, if you're dripping, and the contact kind of comes in and out here. You can adjust it by screwing it. So we'll put on the dud nice and flush, and then we'll adjust this one, which will touch the contact, which it's doing now. There's a Delrin insulator in there, a white Delrin. And then this one here depends on your battery size. So we'll screw it in. Almost perfect. I do hear a bit of muffled rattling, so we'll just screw this out a tiny bit more. Oh. Not a bit of rattling going on. Makes me very happy. We'll celebrate with a vape. Brass contacts are deadly. In case anyone's wondering, this is my Caravella brass drip tip, just in case anyone asks. So, moving right along, the coolest part is, now that it's in 18650 mode, you can add this ring, and you can kick it. It'll fit a kick perfectly, and given the flexibility of that adjustable contact, you can accommodate a kick, any kind of, different battery, whether, the brands are a bit different, nipples are different here. So very cool. You can put a kick in there. And then this ring up here is perhaps the coolest feature. It kind of makes it like a GGTS. This is an air control ring. So you can turn it and close your air completely off, which makes no difference on a Genesis atomizer, because it's fed from the top. However, if you have a Vivinova, an Odysseus, a regular dripping atomizer, pretty much anything other than a Genesis atomizer, some rebuildable dripping atomizers are top fed too, but anyways, you can adjust it. So you can see, oops, there's 3 little micro holes in there, and it's not unlike the GGTS, which has 4 micro holes. So the holes are just closed off. There's a little O-ring under here, and you can adjust the airflow. As it stands right now, it's very, very hard to adjust. It takes a little bit of force to get it going. As we see here, it's a little bit locked. But my GGTS was like that too, and now it's to the point where I can just, thumb it without even looking. So I'm sure that'll work itself out over time. Everything in here is machined to the most minute details. It goes together, I'm going to stop saying like butter, it goes together like margarine, just hot, wet, salty margarine. Very, very clean threads. They're fantastic. So, moving on to the switch, this is another facet that makes it very similar to the Caravella, because it's pretty much exactly the same as the Caravella. So here's the Caravella switch. Has that brass contact and a vent hole. And here's the Chiyu mod switch. A little bit wider. Actually, I didn't really understand how much wider this actually looks. So there's the Chiyu, exact same little hole. The switch is a bit different. It's got a screwdriver head. Now, I'm not going to take the buttons apart. Oh, sorry, I'll show you that too. They both function basically identically. They just push that brass contact up a fraction of a millimeter to make contact. Basically the same, little bit extra throw in the And the Chiyu, and the spring's a bit springier. It's a little looser, but I have the tough springs in here. So I don't think he's trying to make the Caravella. I think he just borrowed the idea. I don't even think he owns a Caravella, so I don't know. But in any case, that's the switch. Very similar to the Caravella. Works flawlessly every time. The brass contacts are big and beautiful. And you get an extra brass contact for some reason. I don't know. The whole thing shipped, like, I don't know if I mentioned it in this video, $169 for either the brass or the stainless steel. So, absolute bargain in my opinion. One of the cheapest mechanical sexy tube mods you're going to get. So you get the extra contact, the same price for the brass, and the parts are mix and matchable. Again, the finish is great. I like the stainless steel. I just wish that this brushed finish matched the shiny finish perfectly. I'm not sure why that happened. It looks like this was actually brushed. It wasn't just a process of machining. It looks like it was brushed because it doesn't have like the spiraling lathe marks on it. The locking mechanism has these little grooves cut into it, like kind of like the ones in the air control. And it's not reverse threaded like the Caravella, so actually to unlock it, you turn it towards yourself. You're holding it like this. That would be counterclockwise. And to lock it, you turn it clockwise. Again, unlike the Caravella, it takes several full rotations to lock and unlock it. I don't know. It's not really a good or bad thing. It's just a thing that I noticed. The Caravella, just like one swift move, and it's locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked. So, same thing though, you have very little play with the switch. Not a lot of effort required to get it rocking. Another vape. Got some fluid, a big bottle of filthy fluid here, rocking away. Lots of nice vapor coming from this did knockoff. This is the Chiyu. We're looking at it. I think the engravings are beautiful. I love the fact that they're serial numbered. I think the date is a nice touch, saying it's the 2012 version. I can see him making a lot of these, so they'll be collectible. I think they're going to be pretty sought after devices. Only place to get them now is to go to VaporWall, sign up, join it's the Chiyu Corner. It's called. There's a guy there named Mojo who's putting these out. I'll try to hook up some pictures so you can just appreciate how nice these do look. If I had to change anything, I'd definitely just make sure that finish matched up ahead of time. I'm going to polish mine anyways. This is the very first run of these, so it's like I don't want to say the betas because they are serial numbered. But he only made 50 of them, and I got one of them. So the brass ones, they look to be all the same finish, so I'm assuming that's going to be revised at some point. I love the look. I love the feel. I can appreciate the air control because I'm not so arrogant to think that that everyone out there uses Genesis stuff exclusively. I know I do, but some people don't. So if you want to use like a dripping atomizer and keep it flush, or a Vivi Nova and keep it flush, or anything that's bottom fed, not only can you do that, you can also control your draw. So if you like it stiff, stiffen it up, tighten it up a bit. If you like it a little more airy, open that thing wide up. And yeah, so that's the Chiyu. Again, pretty similar to the Caravella in terms of function with the switch. The brass contacts are instant firing of the coil. It puts tons of power out. Those brass contacts really make the best of a battery. And just to articulate how easy it is, my biggest gripe with the Caravella was battery configurations and different brands of batteries. If I went out one night and brought 4 different 18650s and they were from 2 different companies, I have to bring out 2 pins and I would always lose them. Well, that's a bad example. It just so happens that there's no rattle at all. But let's say, for instance, there was. it's just a matter of, we'll put this battery in and, oh no, there's an unsightly gap. All you have to do is just tighten that up a bit. No more gap, no rattle. You have a beautiful little 18350 device. That functions just as it should. Overall, I couldn't be happier with this. The price is blowing my mind for something that's constructed this well and in such, relatively small batches. So a batch of 50, $169 for all stainless steel. All these little intricacies. Couldn't be happier with it. So this is what I assume to be the first look at the Mojo. As I said, I'll try to put some pictures up. I'll put links to the VaporWall thread for them. If you have any questions about the Mojo, I keep calling it the Mojo, it's the Chiyu. I'm ridiculous. If you have any questions about the Chiyu mod, please feel free to contact me any way you see fit, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I'll just mention now, too, I like to note things. The modder, who is Mojo, he's coming out with an atomizer. It appears to be either like silica or stainless steel wicked, which is really neat, I think. It's going to look nice on the Chiyu, not the Mojo, and I believe it will work on other devices as well. You can hound the VaporWall forum. I'm sure you can find all the information you need there. We'll have one more vape on the fluid. Stunning performance. Love the brass contacts. One more thing I will mention too. Not only do I think this is the most ingenious, comfortable way to use brass contacts with different battery configurations, I think it's super easy to clean too. You don't have to, the Caravella one, it's a screw, so you have to, you really have to get in there with your brass polish if you want them to look nice. I like mine squeaky clean, so you really do have to get in there and clean them well. With this, it's as easy as, taking that off or leaving it on and just rubbing the crap out of it with your favorite polish, and you're good to go. So if I had to say anything, just to comment on the similarities, it's different. It's not trying to look like a Caravella. It's got its Korean flair going on in it, which I think is really cool. The engravings are nice. It breaks that sleekness of the Caravella that I love so much, with the chunkier air control and locking ring. So it separates itself there. But in terms of the switch, it's basically the same switch, to be honest. Same spring kind of style. But then it borrows the GGTB kind of telescoping insert the GGTB had, and it borrows a very similar air control to the GGTS. But overall, I don't think it's trying to be either of these, and I don't think that was Mojo's intention. I think he just wanted to make a nice, sexy-looking Korean APV, and I think he succeeded in that. So if you want to check it out, there's all the info. I'm rambling on. That's the first look at the Chiyu mod by Mojo. Thank you for watching. Thanks so much for subscribing, and I'll catch you later. Vape groovily. Almost forgot.